praise and respect and acknowledgement to the great King of the universe, to the God of our fathers, to the God of Abraham, the God of Yisrael, and the God of Zacar, for all things and everything. I've been going to talk about forefathers. Most High God, for the lives of all of us that are here present today. Thank you, Most High God, for my life. My second. Thank you for the lives of my family. Thank you for thank you for my life. Thank you for the lives of the people that are important to us. We all know who those people are that are important to us. You know, it's a funny thing because we all, if you let anybody tell it, we all have our stories to tell about how kind and merciful and gracious the Most High God has been to us. We all have our stories to tell on how he's moved in each and every one of our individual lives. And you know, and it's difficult because you always it's difficult because you always you try to find a way to express the things that the Most High God has done for you in your life. And it's always difficult because many people won't understand it because you only recognize the goodness from how the Most High God moved in your life. Okay. But then, of course, other people, each individual person, they also can recognize how the Most High God has moved in their lives. From whether you were born in knowledge yourself or you came in. Once you recognize that it was the Most High God who had been taking care of you all those years. Right. Once you recognize that it was the Most High God, all of those situations that you've been in, all of those situations where you wondered or concerned, all right, how am I going to make it out of this one? What am I going to do here? And then you come to the knowledge yourself and you realize that it was God all along. Amen. Or which God it was all along. And you recognize that the God that you thought it was all along, that it wasn't him. Yeah, okay. We're gonna, as I understand, what they're gonna be doing over the next few weeks is they're gonna be going into the book of Proverbs every afternoon to try to extract the wisdom that the wisest man on earth left on record for us as a people to adhere to. One of the things that's good about the Proverbs is that Proverbs addresses everyday life. That's right. You know, you look at the law, and the law is going to tell you things like, thou shalt not steal, and things like that. That's understandable. Okay. But when you read the Proverbs, and they talk about things like, a soft answer turneth away wrath. And you think about things like that where it's nothing in the law that says you're not supposed to be an angry person or you're supposed to speak to somebody some type of way. But Proverbs is one of the book of Proverbs mentions those subtle things on how you need to treat people because you know that that's how you want to be treated yourself. Proverbs talks about all of that. Proverbs talks about, even though the law touches generally about marriage, Proverbs talks about what type of wife or what type of husband you're looking for. Okay. And it helps you along in that path. So that if you run across a person that you read in Proverbs that they look like Proverbs talk about them, you know to stay away from those types of people. Earlier on, Chief Kohat talked about a lot of different things. I think he was all in my portion because he said a lot of things that I was looking to speak about. But one of the things that he spoke about was what they call it, the joke of the summer, which is this whole Donald Trump race. And I mean, if you think about it, this is what happens all the time. He's still in the lead, but as things start to dwindle down and people start to actually look to talk about real issues, you'll start to realize that, I mean, the people who are going to be the intellectual voters, they're going to start to pick up on those things and start to realize that it's just an empty bag. But one of the things that Chief Coe has said, which is absolutely true, the reason that he's still in the race right now and the reason that he's still leading is because what he's saying is what everybody is feeling. He's saying what everybody else wants to say. And what he's doing is actually a pretty ingenious tactic that's being done by the Republicans, because they have him up there and he's saying all of these things, inciting the people from all of those backwoods country towns in New Hampshire who they don't vote because they don't too much agree with anything. And no disrespect, but a lot of them are to the point where they're farmers. And they live off the land and they live in their own little world. To them, back roads, New Hampshire is all they know.
That's it.
And they hear about those news stories where everything is the Muslims' fault and everything is and so he's inciting all of those people. Anybody else, I mean, if a black person would have said what he said about Mexicans, I mean, he probably would have been lynched by now. But he's still in the lead. And it's an ingenious thing because what he's doing is he's actually doing the same thing a similar thing that Obama did back in 2008. He's stirring up people who don't normally vote, and he's stirring them up to vote. So once you get them interested, whether he's the final Republican candidate or not, you have more people that are interested to vote who don't normally vote. And that's what they were looking for. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to bring about. But the Most High God is in control of all things and everything. And we don't need to fret because of evildoers. The Most High God, and even some of the things that we're going to read about today in this second proverb, teach us how to deal with all of those different things. Teach us how to deal with a variety of people. Teach us how to deal with the thing that we probably have the biggest problem with dealing with, which is being different. At a certain point, we as a people have to learn that we're not like everybody else. The Most High God didn't make us that way. That's not what was special about us. So when we get caught up because we go to school, or we go to work, or we go to all of these different places, and we get caught up with being different because we wear a long skirt every day, or we wear fringes and people are wondering why there's strings hanging from your clothes. The various things you're black. Why you taking off last Monday and this Wednesday and next Monday and the next Monday? That's not like the Black Independence Day or anything like that. That's not when they burnt Black Wall Street down. That's not when Dr. King passed away. Why are you taking those days off? We need to learn to appreciate the fact that the Most High God made us different, because that's what He gave us. He made us different. And as much as we fight, and as much as we try to fight it, the only thing that we're doing is we're just fighting against ourselves, because our portion in life is to be different. We just need to learn to accept our portion in life.
That's right.
And excel at the portion in life that the Most High God gave us in making us different, and run with it.
Right.
Because that's all we have. Unfortunately, talks like this aren't being given to our brothers and sisters who are walking around right now with fried blonde hair and you about as dark as this cloth, and you walking around with fried blonde hair, like, and you know that that's not true. I remember there was a comedian that said it. He said, we black people, we wasn't made with nice flowing silky hair. That's not what we got. No. He said, because your father hair was made like steel, and your mother hair was made like wool. So when you put that together, you don't get silk, you get steel wool. That's what the Most High God gave us. That's what He made us with. We need to take the things that make us different and appreciate it. Because when we don't, and we try to look like or be something different than the Most High God wants us to be, we only show the Most High God that we feel like He did something wrong. That shows the Most High God that we don't appreciate the promise that you gave to our father Abraham. That you don't appreciate the things that people fought to get us that land for. What Moses, somebody like Moses who fought with 603,400 and what's the number? 480. That he fought with all of those men in the wilderness about us being different, about the Most High God giving us a law that's going to make us separate and more sophisticated and more moral than everybody else. Amen. That's what we need to show the Most High God that we appreciate. So we're going to start in this portion of Proverbs chapter 2. Prepares himself. We're just gonna, hopefully we can all take a moment to think about what we're gonna be dealing with over the next couple of days and what's coming in Tuesday night. Because again, all of those things that we have done, Tuesday night is important time to take that opportunity. It says, seek the Most High God when He can be found. Tuesday night is a perfect time where He might be found. So we need to take the time to reflect on the things that we've done and how we can be better before the Most High God and show Him at a time when He can be found that, we want you to take cognizance of us, Most High God.
So in the book of Proverbs chapter 2, verse 1, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
My son, if thou wilt receive my words, and live my commandments with thee, so that thou make thine ear attend unto wisdom, and your heart incline to discernment. Yea, if you call for understanding, and lift up your voice for discernment. If you seek her as silver, and search for her as for hidden treasures, then shall you understand.
So, if you think about what he's saying here, he's saying, so that thou incline thy ear to wisdom and apply thy heart to understanding. If you cry us out after wisdom, not that you just gonna come up and say, okay, Most High God, I'm here, I want some wisdom, I've been keeping Shabbat for about 4 weeks now, please bless me. It's just not that simple. Right. And it doesn't go like that. What he's saying is you need to cry out after wisdom. You at a certain point have to show the Most High God that this is what you want. You have to seek it. You got to show Him that this is more important to you than everything else. Amen. You need to, and words aren't going to express it. You need to show it. I got to be careful with this question. Ronnie, let me ask you a question. When you was trying to let Anawa and her father know that you liked her, what you do? What do you put on your best Tony? Ironed it up real good. You came to Shabbat every week, pressed and clean. Nasty. I know I can't say if you got your car washed, but that was before car. That was before you was driving, right? Listen, you heard what he said? He had to go all the way to North Carolina. Man, he must really be special. Probably took the bus too, right? I know what time money was back then. I know what I had to do with mine. I had to go to Moray And if any, listen, Morey was a lot more, man, listen, Morey was a lot more fire than he is now. And to go to Morey and try to impress Morey and tell him, like, listen, I got a plan. I don't think I had a job at that point, but I was working on it, you know. Chief, go ahead. That's what I was thinking about when Chief, go ahead. What you had to do?
Well, I had to go to the father, and this is a gentleman that he don't take things lightly. So here I am with a woman that is this dog that's a baby, because all his children is older than her by 40 years.
Baby, father's baby.
Yeah, and I had to present myself to him, and I wasn't working either.
Bad combination.
Yeah, I wasn't working. I just came out of the Marine Corps, and I wasn't working, and she said, you want to meet my father? I said, no.
Point that I'm trying to make here. And at that point,
I'm not working.
At that point, I ain't late. But I just knew for me, if I ain't talked to a father, it wasn't no help. Because I have everybody in Israel after me at that point. The point that I'm trying to make is that whatever your hardest decision was, and whatever the thing that you pursued after, because that was your treasure to you.
Okay.
That was your love for you.
Yeah.
That was what was important to you. That's what you took everything. That's what you did what it took in order to get that thing that was important to you.
Amen.
You need to show the God, Most High God more.
Hallelujah.
You need to show more than that. Talk about, what you got on that first day, and you iron that shirt until it ain't no wrinkles in it.
Yeah.
When they tell you that crease is so sharp you could cut somebody,
Yeah.
when you put on that nice smelling cologne, that's probably the last drop in your father bottle. I'm just saying. You need to show the Most High God more than that.
That's right. I'm with you.
Because the decision to do this, and the decision to stay with this, is going to be the single most important decision that you ever going to make in your life.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
And the Most High recognizes it as that.
Yeah.
We need to recognize it as that. So when he said this, he said, and you need to seek her like silver, and search for her as a hidden treasure. And then what does he say?
Yeah.
Then shalt thou understand the fear of Yahweh.
Then shall you understand the fear of Yahweh, because you put so much work into it. Because you work hard for it. When you get money, that's just money that just comes to you that you don't work for, you don't appreciate it.
That's right.
Why? Because you ain't work for it.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter. It has a value to it because it has that simplistic value of what money is, but because you ain't work for it, it's not the same.
Amen.
As when you worked and you went to work for 2 weeks straight,
Yeah.
and then you finally got your first check.
Yeah.
Make a difference.
A big difference.
When you buy your first car, because by the sweat of your brow, when you buy your first car and somebody break into it, man, you feel like crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it meant just that much to you, because you feel like how they gonna take something that I worked so hard for.
There you go.
Free money don't come with the same feeling.
No, it don't. It don't.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, whether you was born in this way or you came in this way, when you recognize the thing that when you pursue and fight and do whatever it is that it takes to get the Most High God to recognize you and to show Him how much you appreciate that, that's when you learn to appreciate this way of life.
It's a fact.
If it doesn't matter, and if you just come in just because somebody else wants you to come, or you coming for any other reason other than that, you're not going to appreciate it the same.
No, you're not.
That's why a lot of times when you give children games and you give them shoes and sneakers and clothes and all those different things, they don't appreciate it as much.
You're right.
Because they just got it. And they say things to you like, I need some money for this game, and you tell them, well, I don't have no money for a game. I don't have money right now. And they say, yeah, okay, just go to the ATM. Because they think that it's always just magically money in the ATM. They said to me. And then at a certain point, I had to realize I had to think about it, and I'm like, all right, wait a minute.
Spoiling.
Wait a minute. And you don't realize and recognize that you're actually spoiling kids until you see the results of what's happening.
That's right.
Because with us, I mean, we worked hard.
Yeah.
I used to get up in the morning when it was dark and come home at night when it was dark.
I hear you.
And you buying all of these different things, and then you come in and you washing dishes, and you cleaning floors, and you washing bathrooms, and you cleaning up the kids' room around the kids. Like, hey, can you excuse me? I'm playing Super Smash Brothers. Can you excuse me? And you cleaning up around them, their room. And then when you start to tell them, like, all right, this gotta stop.
Yeah.
And you get the face like, what gotta stop? Exactly. And when you start to do things slowly but surely, then you get that resistance. But when they work, I had them start doing certain things. I should say we had them start doing certain things around the house. And at that, I wasn't giving allowance at that point. We just was like, y'all need to start doing stuff because this is ridiculous. And so they started doing things. They started with the room, then they started with dishes and floors and all of those different things. And of course, you got dishes that was put back in the closet that you take it out and it still got corn on it, and you just put it back in the sink, tell them you need to wash it again. And after you put them through all of that, and then you like a couple of weeks of that, then it was like, all right, I'm going to start to give allowance.
Oh, you go.
I'm going to start to give. Somebody said what? Well, I'm just because at a certain point, in my opinion, they had to learn that you have to work for the things that you want. And I didn't want them to feel like, I just wanted them to feel like you work, and this is the reward for what you get for your work. That's all I wanted to try to show. So we wanted to try to show. So they worked and they did what they did, and then I was like, okay, so how much y'all think y'all should get for allowance? So now I know they had a number in their hand, but nobody said anything.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything. So I was like, okay, well, Amy and I was thinking about it, and I think that, and this is what I told them. I said, I think that y'all should probably get like about $2 a week for allowance. And even though they didn't say nothing, the face said it all. Like, hey yo, if you think, I'm gonna take the $2, and then I told them what the real number was in our head, and then they seemed to be content with that. But don't y'all feel better now that y'all work for it? Boys they agree. Even though he don't agree, they still agree. I feel better.
Allowance is good.
Hallelujah.
And find the knowledge of God. Verse 6.
Then, at that point, come on.
For Yahweh gives wisdom.
Because that's where they come from.
Out of his mouth comes knowledge and discernment.
Okay.
Things don't just come to us just because we Israel. It's just not that simple. All black people can't play basketball. They don't come out knowing how to play basketball. Trust me, I know.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, you talk about somebody like Michael Jordan who said that he took 2,000 shots a day in the gym. You see what Kobe said? How she get half my check? She wasn't in the gym with me shooting free throws because you work hard and it's yours.
Okay.
Then, after all the hard work, then it comes. Because everything comes from God. And unfortunately for us, the first time around, we got it the easy and the spoil way. Because God brought everybody out. I mean, we had worked in Egypt. It was a little tough.
Yeah.
But obviously it couldn't have been that tough if everybody wanted to go back for fish and garlic and leeks.
Exactly.
Couldn't have been that tough. Everybody wanted to go back. Everybody came out the first time. So we came out the spoil way, but the Most High God doesn't deal like that. Come on.
Verse 7. He lays up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to them that walk in integrity. That he may guard the paths of justice and preserve the way of the godly ones, of his godly ones. Then shalt thou understand righteousness and justice, and equity, yea, every good path.
It says, after you put in all of that work to understand, you ever speak to somebody that, and not to Not to take it, but when you study, or when you study an issue, whatever that issue is, to understand it and to know it. And then you speak to somebody who hasn't studied it at all, and they have no understanding about the issue, but they just continue to talk and talk and talk like they just an expert on it. But you studied the issue, and you know that what they're saying is just a complete fallacy and you want to just tell them, you don't know what you're talking about, right? But that's just not the discretionary way to approach it. But it said, after all of that, then you're going to understand righteousness and justice and equity and every good path. Equity. Everybody treated fairly. Everybody treated the same way. The same rules that apply to you apply to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody. So that way, when it comes to certain things, you don't even really have to, you don't really have to ponder on it too long, because the same thing that happened to him is the same thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
You have extenuating circumstances sometimes, but rules of just weight and balance. Judgment. If you do something wrong, you get the consequences and repercussions of what you did wrong. Those are the good paths that the Most High God is talking about.
Okay.
The good paths that He delighted in. You're not going to have a moral and a civil people without these things that the Most High God is talking about.
Amen.
Because anytime you treat anybody in an unjust way, where you deal with one person one way and another person the other way, you always gonna have that feeling from that other person.
Oh yeah, to the scale up. Right. Makes sense.
Verse 10. For wisdom shall enter into your heart, and knowledge shall be pleasant unto your soul. Discretion shall watch over you, discernment shall guard you, to deliver you from the way of evil, from the men that speak froward things.
Discretion. Does somebody give me a definition of discretion? Anybody?
This comes from discreet, and it will be like the action of like making the right decision.
Making the right decision.
I think.
Making the right. Nah, that's exactly what it is. Making the right decision. Knowing what to say and what not to say in a particular audience or a particular setting.
Right.
Discretion. Come on.
Verse 13.
Can't give me the real definition. Nah, well, that was an excellent definition. Discounted definition. Yeah. Give me the left line definition. Come on. The power or right to decide or act according to one's own judgment, freedom of judgment or choice. It is entirely within my discretion whether I'll stay or go. The quality of being discreet, especially with reference to one's own actions or speech, prudence and decorum.
Decision.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm a firm believer in calm. Like, things happen for a reason. I still think the definition was good, bro. Come on.
Verse 12. Verse 13, excuse me. Who leave the paths of uprightness.
That's what I meant to go back into 11. That's going to deliver you from the way of the evil man, from the man who speaks perverse things. Come on.
Who leave the paths of uprightness.
To do what?
To walk in the ways of darkness. Who rejoice to do evil and delight in the frowardness of evil.
All right. The delight, who delight in the frowardness of evil. All right, we're gonna try a little experiment. They did this on A Time to Kill. All right, everybody close your eyes. Don't worry, I ain't. Everybody close your eyes. Just think for a minute. Close your eyes. Somebody tell me, throw it out. Evil. Delighting in the frowardness of the evil. Just throw it out. Just trying to see what kind of answers I get. Evil. What's your definition or the picture of evil that you see? Anybody?
Cashing out.
Cashing out. Anybody?
Going against God's law.
Going against God's law. Anybody? Come on. Give me a specific definition of evil. A specific example. Come on. We know what evil is.
Breaking God's commandment.
Breaking God's commandment.
Yeah.
Stick up kid.
Stick up kid. Robbing. Somebody determined to do wrong. Presumptuous acts. All of those different things. The reason that I wanted us to think about it for a minute is because what we did is we all brought out those blatant evil acts that we could think of from blatantly evil people. But what about evil acts that are done by just the nicest and the sweetest person? What about evil acts that are done by somebody who he just so kind and generous? What about those? Because a lot of times we don't think about, when we think evil and when we picture wrong and when we think sin, we kind of think about those big things. But we don't think about the person who just left her father's house just because she just didn't like what was going on in there. But otherwise, she's just the nicest and the sweetest thing. We don't think about stuff like that. We don't think about the man who just abandoned his kids to leave them with whoever he chose to leave them with just because he just can't really focus on dealing with that no more. But other than that, he's just a perfect gentleman to anybody who anybody who's encountered him. Wow. Things like that is evil as well, but those are the things that we don't think about. We don't think immediately about. And those are the things that we don't think immediately about when in our assessment of people. We only look at evil for the blatant, nasty, filthy, obvious. But sometimes we don't consider evil like in the same manner that God considered evil. And that's kind of what happens. Because nobody, but most of us don't just hang out with the blatantly nasty person. It's just those subtle breaking of the commandments which we kind of get hung up on. In the last chapter that Chief Uziel did last week, there was a verse in there where it said, "Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird." Meaning, if the net is the snare for the bird, and you trying to catch the bird. But if it's just blatantly a snare, if you just lay the net out for the bird's not going to fly in there because he knows it's a trap. Things become a snare because they cute. And things become a snare because they smell good. And things become a snare because her hair look nice. Or things become a snare because, did you see his sneakers? That dude did 90 push-ups in 8 seconds. Wow. That guy is hot. I have to marry him. Wow. You see his head, how curly it is? Wow. We need to have a baby. I need my baby to have good hair.
That's what's going on today.
Make it clear. A lot of times we don't see evil how God sees evil. And that's a big issue that we all run into. Amen. It's a big issue that we all run into. So when it's saying here that all of those different things that the Most High God talked about earlier on in the chapter, when he said, applying your heart to understanding and crying after wisdom and lifting up your voice for understanding and searching for it like a hidden treasure, that things like that is going to keep you from the man who speaks perverse things and from the light and the perverseness of the wicked. All of those things are going to keep us from doing that because the Most High God will have put it in you so that you can already recognize it. And you can see it for what it is. And a lot of times that's what we need. We need to kind of be able to see evil and wickedness for what it is.
That's right. That's right.
Again, just like I'm probably referenced you a number of times, Chief Kohack, but I think you was all in my portion. But it's just like you said, as a parent or as an adult, you're trying to explain something to a child and they already know. Yeah. I already know. I know. But obviously you don't know. And time and experience and wisdom is showing me that you don't know because I see how you conducting yourself.
Yeah.
So you can scream, I understand all you want. If your behavior doesn't reflect that you understand, then I can clearly look at your behavior and see that you don't understand.
Right.
And wisdom and knowledge and understanding allows us to be able to recognize evil and sin for what it is.
Amen.
Verse 15. Who are crooked in their ways and perverse in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman,
Oh.
even from the alien woman that makes smooth her words.
You know, from the beginning of the time. I mean, from the beginning of the time, women been getting men in trouble. From the beginning of the time, men been getting women in trouble. From the beginning of the time, the opposite sex been getting the opposite sex in trouble.
But the strange woman.
You know, a lot of times when people come and they say, what does it say? It said the evil man who speaks perverse things. People, when people speak perverse things, they don't just come out. Like, most of the time, they don't come out and say, like, let's just go rob that person. A lot of times it don't happen like that. Especially amongst people with decorum and people who feel like they still are in a point that the Most High God is dealing with them to where they understand. A lot of times they come out like, why do you think he's better than everybody? See how you walking around? Why are you walking around like that?
The gas.
You know what I'm saying? I think he just, you know what it is? Somebody need to knock him off his high horse. That's what needs to happen. Remember when he disrespected you a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
I didn't really look at it as disrespect. That's because you ain't really understand what he was trying to do. That's usually
That's the Okie, they call it Okie do.
that's what they call it. That's usually how it comes.
Yes.
It comes not and it comes in a subtle way.
Yes.
Not so obvious.
Right.
And then what happens is we feed into it. It says from the strange woman, the alien woman who speaks smooth. So fine. Man, oh man. You a cute dude, man. How long you been working at that job? That's a nice car. You said it's paid for? Oh man. Maybe we can hang out sometime.
She comes. She comes.
Maybe we can hang out sometime. You know? I mean, I'm just saying, you know, we can have a drink or two. We can have some coffee. Why your phone just keep ringing? Nah, that ain't nobody, man. Don't even worry about that.
That's your wife.
I ain't even worry about that. Nah, this is the woman talking. So that's her husband.
Yeah, she said, don't worry about it.
Just texting all the time. So then a lot of times we try to be on the up. You're like, so you don't talk to nobody? You look like you kind of cute people. You know, he just don't know how to, you know, I'm just saying, he just don't understand. You know, I mean, he don't know how to treat me. You know, you know what he did? He just don't understand. I think you way different than he is. I know, but are y'all still together? Look, you just gotta understand what I'm trying to tell you. Pour him another drink. You just gotta understand what I'm trying to tell you. But why do your phone keep ringing? You know what? I'm just gonna just give me a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom, powder my nose, and take a whole bath. Speak smooth things. Same thing. Men, women. Understanding and knowledge and wisdom is going to be able to keep us.
Yes.
You'll be able to recognize all those different things.
Amen.
Come on.
Verse 17.
Finna get that.
Thou forsakes the Lord of her youth.
Okay.
I'm glad that this book read it that way. Because as I was going through this,
Right.
and you read in some books,
Yeah.
some books say that forsakes the friend of her youth. And it don't give the full understanding of what it is that you're dealing with. And it doesn't say forsake, it's more like azab, which is like abandoned and just left. The word that they use is aloof, the Lord of her youth. Either her father or her husband. One or the other. Could be either. But in this case, most probably her husband.
Okay, aloof.
Just forsakes him and I just left. He didn't understand. He didn't treat me like I felt like I needed to be treated. So I just left. Forsakes the Lord of her youth. Go ahead.
And forgets the covenant of her God.
Because they both go together.
That's right.
That's why.
Make it clear.
Because they both go together.
Right.
That commitment or that obligation that you have to either your father or your husband is directly tied to your portion of the covenant with your God.
Amen. Yeah.
And you forsake them both. You forsake one and forget the other. Because they both go hand in hand. Go ahead.
18. For her house sinks down unto death, and her paths unto the shades. None that go unto her return.
Nobody. So if you think you're strong enough to resist, the wisest man alive said nobody comes back.
Yeah. Walk away. Walk away.
You know, one of the biggest reasons that I'm talking about in these days and times, I understand back in those days a little different. In these days and times when children, boys and girls, have other things to attend to, like school, and your obligation to home, and all of those different things. Nobody has time for a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Why? Because it takes you away from your obligations at home. Once you start talking to boys, once you start talking to girls, you end up staying up later and later.
Amen.
And after a while, you might at first start talking about homework, but trust me, from somebody who's been there, it gets out of homework real quick.
Amen. One time.
Real quick. Boys and girls. It's worse for girls because when you fall to that point as a girl and you fall lower than you fall as a boy, but it's worse for boys because boys can't focus like girls can focus.
That's right. That's right.
So it's bad for everybody. It's bad for children. You know, a lot of times I get a lot of flack because they say, well, I get a lot of flack because they say, well, why she can't go to the prom?
She can't go.
Can't go. I don't know if you say can or can't, but
You can't.
okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's my rule for my house.
That's it.
And I don't necessarily have anything against prom, but it's just what prom indicates.
That's right.
The depiction that you get of what prom is, where you're getting all dressed up for this one afternoon or this one evening. They asked me, can she go to prom? So I asked, I said, so can I go? Oh, nah, ain't no parents allowed. Well, then she can't go. Well, if I can't go, she can't go. Why? Because it's the depiction of what it represents.
That's right.
We all know what it represents. We just don't like to talk about what it represents. At a certain point, we as a people, we really need, you know, one of the things about Donald Trump that I'm just going to say, everybody is so sensitive these days.
Oh, yeah.
Very sensitive. So that's what I'm saying. After a while, I sincerely feel like the conservative, not the conservative people, the liberal people, even the liberal Republicans, they're going to shut him down because right now he's good for business.
Yeah.
Because he's still bringing money and he's bringing votes. But after a while, when things get a little bit more thick, he's going to be bad for business because he speaks real talk.
Exactly.
And a lot of times we get to the point where we as a people don't like to talk real talk no more. We've fallen into it where we want to skate around issues, but we all understand what's out there because we all been out there. That's the experience that God gave us to show us everything that we all been out there. We seen it. We know. You know what you was thinking about at prom time.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know.
Exactly.
And worse Worse than what you know what that Negro thinking about at the wrong time.
Right.
Boy or girl.
He's worse than me.
Boy or girl.
Worse than us.
And I had some sort of morals.
Thank you.
Because my mother taught me some.
There you go.
Some people was raised with angry parents that they didn't get the type of love and attention that I got.
All right.
So I know I had some.
There you go.
But at a certain point, and I understand that people don't want to come here. I know we don't want to be bashed. And I know it's a day of rest. And I know all of those different things. And I know we want to come and we want to sing and we want to dance and everybody want to feel good. But trust me, you can't feel good if God don't feel good about us.
Amen. That's right. Amen.
So at that point, how good are you feeling?
Yeah.
If God don't feel good about us.
That's right. Right. That's right.
It's just like he said in Isaiah 1, when he said, your feast days I despise your feast days. Who required you to trample my court? That's only when we not right.
Exactly.
So the only thing that I'm saying is, let's go through these proverbs. Let's talk about what needs to be talked about so we can be right, so the Most High God, so that when we sing and I'm not singing like that. I mean, you put on some Celine Dion, I might. I don't know.
What?
But Celine Dion. You know that song Conqueror? That's what's in right now. I'm just telling you, that's just me. Everybody knows the song Conqueror. They just don't want to admit it because we all black. They don't want to admit it. You know it. I am a conqueror. I won't accept defeat. Come on, I know you know. I know people know. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we need to conduct ourselves in a way that God will accept us. Okay? Which means we need to be taught how to conduct ourselves in a way that God will accept us. We can say it the nicest way and make everybody laugh, just like Chief Kohat did today. Sometimes we got to be a little bit rougher with things because we got to drive a point home.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can say it with a smile. See? I'm saying it don't change the message.
No, it don't.
The message don't change.
That's right.
And wisdom and understanding and knowledge keeps us away from all of those different things when we apply ourselves. Because I guarantee you, if you sit and you read a book, you read the Tanakh for 2 hours and you study it and you go through all of those different things, you ain't got no time to be thinking about how cute his wife is.
Okay.
Or maybe it might come in and then it might go right back out because you'll be like, how cute his wife is.
His wife.
Knowledge just set in.
Yeah. His wife.
Wisdom came forward.
Wisdom came forth.
Yeah. His wife.
Come on.
Verse 19. None that go unto her return, neither do they attain unto the paths of life.
You don't return and you don't find your way back. Don't matter how strong you are. It don't happen. Because once you as a male or female, right now it's talking about women, but I don't want to give the impression that it only happens to women. Because, that it only happens when men just get caught up in women. It look real bad when you see some dude following around some girl. I understand. And that look real bad. I understand. But that's the perspective that it comes from. But you know that it also looked real bad when he hits you 7 times and swell up your eye 4, and then you still talking about I need to go back.
Okay.
So you know that it applies to everybody.
Yeah.
Because we all hit rock bottom when we fall in that position where we got into something that we were warned against.
There you go.
Come on.
Verse 20. That thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the wholehearted shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the land, and the faithless shall be plucked up out of it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I can't find this portion. It was just something I wanted to have read. And I don't know why I can't find it. That's what I want. That's not what I want. And I'm gonna just read it. It's 2 Chronicles 19. This is right after Jehoshaphat and Ahab went out to war, because Jehoshaphat was married He married into Ahab's house. And we know Ahab was a wicked house.
Right.
Second Chronicle?
2 Chronicles 19. So this is right after they came back from the war.
Right.
Ahab had died. Jehoshaphat almost died. And he came back by the skin of his teeth. He came back alive. Todayah.
All right.
And this is what happened. 19:1. I'll read it. He says, and Jehoshaphat, the king of Yehuda, returned to his house in peace to Jerusalem, meaning he made it back safely. And Jehu, the son of Hanani the seer, went out to meet him. And he said to King Jehoshaphat, shouldest thou help the wicked and love those who hate God? And that's just something that I think that we need to consider in our everyday dealings and how we deal with things. A lot of times we may not be considerate enough that when bad things happen to us, we don't stop to kick it around, to talk about it, to say, I wonder why this happened.
Okay.
We need to make sense about why this happened. And in Jehoshaphat's case, the prophet came back to explain to him why he was just in the quagmire that he was in. Because he was helping out the wicked and loving those that hate God. All honors, praises, respect, acknowledgement, and thanks I offer unto the great King of the universe, to the God of our fathers, to the God of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, thanking him for all things and everything. Shabbat shalom to
Shabbat shalom.